Hello and a very good evening. You're watching Verdict 2017 on Rajya Sabha Television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are today's Verdict headlines. President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet citizens on National Voters' Day. Laud the Election Commission's role, urge youth to register as voters and exercise their franchise. Congress names Priyanka Gandhi in its list of 40-star campaigners for UP Assembly election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President Amit Shah, Union Ministers Arun Jaitley among BJP's 40-star campaigners for Uttarakhand. An election commission reviews measures to ensure peaceful, free and fair polls in Goa. Panel feels tourism season will not hamper voting in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted people on the National Voters' Day. Calling elections a celebration of democracy, the Prime Minister urged every eligible voter to exercise their franchise. He also called upon the youth to register as voters when they turn 18. In a series of tweets, Prime Minister Modi greeted the Election Commission and saluted their important role in India's democracy. Meanwhile, President Pranab Mukherjee also spoke about the significance of National Electoral Day. He called the Election Commission India's first instrument of governance. He also congratulated the Election Commissioners of India for their contribution in strengthening the country's most important democratic process.
This is the first instrument of governance. After 190 years of the colonial rule, because all the laws were enacted under the authority of the British government, people of India had hardly any say. Therefore, I do feel it is significant that on 25th January we celebrate the Voters' Day.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav on Wednesday sought the support of people in returning to power. While addressing a rally in Lakhimpur district, he said that the people should back them as a second innings in power will ensure the good work done in the first stint is taken forward. The Samajwadi Party leader warned the people against the BJP and the hopes it generated. He also asked the people to go through the party manifesto and said that if voted to power again, 1,000 rupees per family will be issued to 1 crore people.
लाख महिलाओं को दे रहे समाजवादी पेंशन। आने वाले समय में सरकार बनेगी, एक भी गरीब महिला नहीं छूट पाएगी जिसको समाजवादी पेंशन से ना जोड़े। और साथ ही साथ ये फैसला लिया है कि जो पेंशन पाने वाले लोग हैं और उत्तर प्रदेश में 1 करोड़ लोगों को 1,000 की पेंशन देने का काम समाजवादी पार्टी करेगी, सरकार बनने के बाद करेगी।
Rajya Sabha Television spoke to Aparna Yadav, the Samajwadi Party's candidate from Lucknow Cantonment, who will take on the BJP's Rita Bahuguna Joshi. She says that she has played the role of keeping the Samajwadi Party united.
आपको लगता है संशय की जो स्थिति थी वो जो है उससे उबर चुके हैं, और दूसरा ये है कि आपकी क्या भूमिका थी उसमें?
देखिए, भूमिका एक जो छोटी बहू होने के नाते होनी चाहिए किसी भी मर्यादित परिवार में, हमारे वही एक भूमिका रहती। हम अपने जितना भी फेविकॉल का काम कर सकते थे, मैंने फेविकॉल का काम किया, जोड़ने का काम किया, क्योंकि अपर्णा यादव का हमेशा से ये मैं बोलती आई हूँ कि परिवार एक है। बहुत से हमारे जो अन्य कार्यकर्ता भी थे उनमें भी बड़ा निराशा थी एक समय पर, मगर मैंने सबको आश्वासन यही देते रहे, तभी मैंने एक भी दिन कैंपेन अपना नहीं रोका। एक नॉट अ वेरी सिंगल डे मैंने रोका अपना कैंपेन, कभी नहीं, ऐसा कभी नहीं किया। हमने हमेशा सबको साथ में लेकर चले हम। और देखिए, जैसे एक परिवार होता है वैसे ही एक पार्टी होती है, क्योंकि जनता को जब तक हम अपने परिवार नहीं मानेंगे तब तक हम जो है कार्य करने में और कार्य करवाने में दोनों में असक्षम।
Well, join me for a chat this evening to talk about what's happening in the 5 poll-bound states is the political editor of Deccan Herald, Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar, thank you so much for joining me on the program. You know, as far as campaigning is concerned, it's still not in full steam in any of the 5 poll-bound states. But, political parties like the Congress and the BJP have said that their star campaigners will be in these states soon, to campaign for their respective parties. How much of an impact are these star campaigners going to have on state elections?
Well, the main purpose of star campaigners is to raise the tempo, the mood of the cadre, as well as enhance the appeal of candidates. Because after all, an election like in a state like Uttar Pradesh is actually an aggregation of, I would say, mini general election in each of these assembly constituency, and there are 400 of them. So what happens is there are local issues, there are state issues, and the star campaigners, give that necessary thrust, or what I would say a force multiplier. So therefore, there is a lot of excitement about who are the star campaigners. So therefore, there is a lot of excitement, for instance, about the role of Priyanka Gandhi, because she has always figured in the list, not that this is the first time, and in the list people look at and find out she is on the serial number 9. It doesn't matter whether she is on serial 9 or serial 1. But what is important is, for instance, in this year's assembly election, she has been playing a lot of role in the back room. So therefore, people are looking forward to see how much of a campaign would give further thrust to this newfound alliance with the Samajwadi Party. And secondly, because the big question is it going to be a pan-UP affair, or she is going to be deployed in those constituencies where Congress expects her campaign will give a big boost?
Indeed, that remains to be seen. Of course, do stay with us, Shekhar Iyer. I'm just going to come back to you for another reaction. But before that, let's go across to our correspondent, Kriti Mishra, who's joining us live from Agra at the moment. Well, Kriti, as far as campaigning is concerned, we've seen that Samajwadi Party has taken the lead and, campaigning is going on. But every time elections are, around the corner, another war takes place, and that of posters. And that seems to be the situation in Agra.
The highest number of constituencies up for grab in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is a high-stake political arena for all the political parties. So they're trying very hard to grab the eyeballs. So here, poster war is full-blown. The most interesting one is of the SP and the Congress combined, with pictures of Dimple and Priyanka with the caption that says, "Ab ki baar bajega mahilaon ka danka." There's another one of the SP attacking the BJP, which says, "Nahi chalegi jumlo ki sarkar, ab ki baar hamari sarkar." So to counter that, BJP has come up with a huge poster that says, "Nahi chalega baap bete ka natak bar bar, ab ki baar Bhajpa ka sarkar." Of course, there are posters of the BSP that actually exhibit Mayawati as the apostle of good governance. So with each passing day, the poster war in Uttar Pradesh is getting interesting. Frank?
Indeed. All right. Thank you so much, Kriti Mishra, for joining us there with those details. Shekhar Iyer, as far as the poster wars are concerned, and some of the slogans that Kriti raised, we're going to see much more of it in the days to come. But are you surprised that this particular campaigning thus far hasn't seen any kind of polarization?
Well, I think since Lok Sabha 2014 elections, there has been a lot about talk about how the voters have responded to campaign over the period. And in fact, many political analysts have looked at some incidents in that state in the last 2 years or 2.5 years as way of mobilizing voters in a particular direction. This time too, I think there is a lot of calculations that have gone into each party's the way working out the strategy, whether it is in terms of caste or whether it is in terms of community. And UP always presents kind of a challenge for every party, because no single community or a caste can help a party win power. It needs a combination. So therefore, you are finding whatever alliances that are being sewed up, whether it is Congress and Samajwadi Party, or BSP trying to reorient its appeal, or whether BJP trying to tie up with number of smaller groups, it all got to do with what I would say some kind of a social arithmetic. And of course, beyond the arithmetic, of course, there are other issues. But arithmetic definitely appears to be playing a large part, considering the amount of time and energy that goes into sewing up these alliances and picking up the right candidate in each of these seats.
Indeed, it remains to be seen, of course, how all this plays out. But in the meantime, let's quickly get another report right now. As usual, the elections in Uttar Pradesh threw up an interesting cast of characters. Many of them fight as independent candidates. Curiosity, it's not the prospect of winning or losing that keeps them going, but celebrating the festival of democracy. Kriti Mishra profiles one such candidate who goes by the name of Fakat Baba.
Meet the first official candidate of Uttar Pradesh, the barefoot saffron-robed sadhu Fakat Baba.
Ram Ram Dehi Sumiran
The Baba who sings bhajans and recites the Ramayana for a living is a 6th standard pass-out. He lives in Galteshwar Mandir in Mathura's Govind Nagar area. His affidavit says he's a bachelor and has about 30,000 rupees to his name. Fakat Baba begins his electioneering day early, distributing bananas, his election symbol. He has no hope of winning the election, but the 73-year-old is a compulsive candidate who has complete faith in his guru's prediction that he'll win the 20th election of his life.
समर्पित प्रत्याशी हैं। यहाँ मथुरा जिले में जो भी लोकसभा के और विधानसभा के प्रत्याशी हैं, ये समर्पित नहीं है। ये तो जनता से झूठा बोल करके, झूठे वादे कर करके और अपने पैसे के और धनबल पे और बाहुबल पे और इस पे ही चुनाव यहाँ से जीतते।
Fakat Baba contested his first election in 1977. He got 5,000 votes then. Since then, he has contested the Lok Sabha elections 8 times and Assembly elections 7 times from Mathura. His best performance till date was in 1991 when he polled 8,000 votes in a contest against the BJP's Sakshi Maharaj. Baba now has several female supporters.
मैं तो जहाँ तक है इतने सालों से मैं बाबा को ही वोट करती रही हूँ और आगे भी मैं बाबा को ही वोट करूंगी क्योंकि मैं किसी और को वोट नहीं करना चाहती। जितने भी लीडर्स जो हमारे यहाँ खड़े हुए हैं वो सिर्फ अपने लिए ही उन्होंने किया है अब तक।
Then there are critics who dismiss him as a headline grabber.
बाबा 16 बार से लड़ रहे हैं लेकिन केवल अखबार की सुर्खियां दिखाई देती हैं लेकिन पब्लिक में कुछ भी उत्साह दिखाई नहीं देता, कुछ भी नहीं होता।
In the 2014 national elections, Fakat Baba spent 84,000 rupees, mostly donated by his disciples. With neither property nor house, he sleeps in night shelters and temples. All that he has is spent on fighting polls. Now that's true devotion for you.
Baba says that fighting elections has become a costly affair. He has borrowed 10,000 rupees for the deposit fee and he knows it would get forfeited. Fakat Baba has no remorse for the continuous defeats and is only waiting for his 20th election where he feels he would emerge victorious. Reporting from Mathura with camera person Shiv Kumar, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, shifting focus to Uttarakhand now, where Chief Minister Harish Rawat today filed his nomination from Kicha in Udham Singh Nagar district. Kicha is one of the 2 Vidhan Sabha seats he is contesting in the State Assembly poll slated for February 15th. Haridwar Rural is the other constituency where Rawat is yet to file his nomination. Rawat will be the first Chief Minister of the state to contest from 2 seats.
तो मैंने तय किया कि उनके मुकाबले में सीधे मैं आऊं, इसलिए मैंने यहाँ और हरिद्वार दोनों जगहों से लड़ने का फैसला किया और ये हमारे विकास की धरती है, कौमी एकता की धरती है और कांग्रेस इसकी स्वाभाविक सेवक है और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि इस बार 20 की 20 सीटों में हम हरिद्वार और उधम सिंह नगर से विजयी हों।
Well, let me get a quick reaction from, I guess, Shekhar Iyer, political editor of the Deccan Herald, on this as well. Shekhar, do you believe that the elections this time around is going to be the defining moment of Harish Rawat's political career?
It will be, because Harish Rawat got a good boost when Supreme Court restored his government. Now, that was quite some time ago. And since then, because that was seen as kind of a boost, and that should have served to lower the morale of BJP. But what we've seen in subsequently is it has not been that easy for Harish Rawat because he has had problems with his own ministers and members of his party, and that the high expectations from of their own Congress MLAs, from the Chief Minister, and a kind of government he was trying to manage has rather made things difficult. So it's quite an uphill task, and if Congress can really, pull through, then that credit, a lot of it would go to Harish Rawat. And at the same time, the reverses would also be pinned on him, because after all, he was the Chief Minister and he has been running the show for a long time.
Indeed. All eyes will be on Harish Rawat, and his political, career depends on this election. Of course, thank you so much, Shekhar Iyer, for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us. And shifting focus to Goa now, where Congress is battling it out in a three-way contest against the BJP and new entrant, the Aam Aadmi Party. Our correspondent, Ravindra Singh Sharon, spoke with Congress leader Shantaram Naik about his party's preparations ahead of the elections. Naik expressed confidence of the Congress party's win, but confessed winning single-handedly for the Congress might be an uphill task.
सर, किन-किन अहम मुद्दों के साथ आप लोग जनता के बीच जा रहे हैं?
स्पेशल स्टेटस अपना एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय है। हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में एक अमेंडमेंट मांग रहे हैं आर्टिकल 371 के लिए, और जिसके तहत गोवा विधानसभा को एक अधिकार मिलेगा एक लेजिस्लेशन पास करने के लिए, अपनी जमीन और संस्कृति का रक्षण करने के लिए।
सर, दोहरी नागरिकता का भी मुद्दा है, आप संसद में लगातार उठाते रहे हैं।
हम डुअल सिटीजन इसके बारे में नहीं कर रहे हैं। जो पुर्तगाल के नागरिक हैं उनके लिए हम कुछ मांग नहीं रहे, जो NRIs हैं उनके लिए हम ये मांग रहे हैं।
बीजेपी की जो सरकार है, यूटर्न की सरकार है, ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हैं सर?
उन्होंने जो पॉलिसी के हैं, मेक इंडिया हो या स्टार्टअप हो या स्किल इंडिया हो, कुछ भी उन्होंने जो किया है, आप मेक इंडिया के बारे में बताता हूँ, कौन सा ऐसा डील उन्होंने साइन किया है जहां मेक इन इंडिया इनकॉर्पोरेटेड है? ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस कहाँ है? ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस
विकास के काम किए हैं, पुल बनाया सर जुआरी पर, मांडवी पे एक और नए पुल का निर्माण हो रहा है।
वो जो हमारी योजनाएं थी कुछ सालों में बंद पड़ी थी, और बीजेपी ने उनको लोगों को उकसा कर वो बंद करवाया था, वो उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया।
लेकिन सर, बीजेपी की सरकार में एक भी कसीनो को नया लाइसेंस नहीं दिया गया है, सब पुराने हैं। लेकिन जो कैसीनो डेवलप हो रहा है, पहले कैसीनो को इतनी बात कोई सुन रहा था क्या? कैसीनो के लिए इतना मूवमेंट होता था क्या? नहीं होता था। अभी जो सब बुरी चीजें कैसीनो के बारे में बोली जा रही हैं, वो अभी बोली जा रही है, उस वक्त नहीं थी। लेकिन सर, दिल्ली से चल के केजरीवाल गोवा में भी आ गए। अब
वो गोवा में जो दिल्ली में गोवा में वो करेंगे क्या? कुछ डैमेज हमको करेंगे, एक सीट भी मिलेगा क्या?
तो आपको उम्मीद है कि इस बार फिर से कांग्रेस की सरकार बनेगी?
कांग्रेस की सरकार जरूर बनेगी, लेकिन हमारे सिंगल बलबूते पर शायद बनना मुश्किल हो जाएगा। हमारी और अन्य पार्टियों को मिलके हो जाएगा।
Well, with assembly elections just round the corner in Goa, local issues among voters seem to be heating up significantly. This time, voters have decided to choose their candidates based on their work. The elections in the state will happen on the 4th of February. Chief contenders for the race include the BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party.
Goans have a long list of demands from the political parties that are seeking their vote. With demonetization and inflation affecting every section of society, locals want a solution. Small traders say their earnings have dropped by almost 60% due to demonetization.
मेन मुद्दा रहना चाहिए डिमोनेटाइजेशन का, जो हुआ है उसका सही तरीके से और कुछ उसका उपाय निकाल के पब्लिकों के लिए सुविधा हो, बेहतर हो, और पैसा जो 500 और 1000 के जो नोट अभी तक जो बराबर मार्केट में आए नहीं है, दोबारा आ गए तो बेहतर होगा। उसके अलावा ट्रैफिक का काफ़ी मुद्दा है, जो रोडवेज हैं, हाईवेज में जो रोड हैं, गाड़ियां काफ़ी बढ़ रही हैं धीरे धीरे।
नुकसान तो बहुत ही पड़ा है। बिजनेस तो आप देखते हैं पूरा बिजनेस डाउन है, बिजनेस तो कुछ नहीं है, गरीब लोगों के लिए तो कुछ नहीं है। मोदी जी ने बोलता है कि इतना सारा काला पैसा पकड़ा, हम गरीबों के लिए वो करेगा, ये करेगा। गरीबों के लिए क्या किया है? अभी तक कुछ नहीं किया।
Corruption and unfulfilled promises made by leaders during campaigning is also an issue this time.
ये हर एक का फर्ज है, पैसा हर एक को मांगता है, लेकिन विकास किया है, लेकिन यू टर्न बहुत किया और विकास के नाम से पैसा किया, ये भी कुछ खटकता है। ये भी इनडायरेक्ट एक टाइप ऑफ करप्शन। इतना करप्शन है, अपने आप लोगों को ये काम देते हैं। तुम कितना भी होशियार हो, आदमी की जो पारख होती है, निरीक्षण, ऑब्जर्वेशन, कैपेसिटी, वो आज दुनिया में नहीं दिखाई देता है।
Goa has 40 assembly constituencies. All 40 will go to polls on February 4th. This time, the ruling BJP is facing challenge from both the Congress and the new entrant Aam Aadmi Party. Ravindra Singh's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, joining me for a chat right now is our correspondent Ravindra Singh Sharon. Ravindra, as far as the issues in Goa are concerned, of course, the local issues are taking significance, but another issue that has been spoken about widely is the issue of special status.
Very true, Frank. The special status issue is a very pertinent and also an emotional issue for the Goa people. The Goan people, which they are claiming that the people, after the sublime experience, the reason for this is not only the beauty of the beaches, but also the culture of the Goa, which has an imprint and impression of the Portuguese culture here, which is quite visible. And this is the reason they want to preserve the culture, and what the Goan people are saying that this is now a bit in problem because of the outsiders are coming, and they want, this is the promise which was made by the Prime Minister at in 2004, before the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. The Prime Minister claimed that he will, once if he form the government in the center, then the special status will be, special category status will be granted to the Goa state. The special category status, as per the Article 371, Clause 1 of the Constitution, is a bit different than the special status which the state like Bihar and Andhra Pradesh are demanding. People here are demanding that the Goa Assembly should be enabled to make a legislation which they can have the power to allow the people from outsider to have restricted rights on the land, and they should not be allowed to come in any number of and they can at their own will. The power should be in the hands of the government of the day, and they should decide who should be given a license and who should be allowed to stay here and who should be allowed to buy the land. Because if the culture has been lost, then the Goan people are saying that there is the whole motive will be finished of the liberation of the Goa. Beside the special status,
thank you so much for joining us there with those details and putting things into perspective for us as far as the special category status for Goans is concerned. Now, with the elections in Goa barely 10 days away, the Election Commission is taking all necessary measures to ensure peaceful, free and fair polls. Our correspondent Ravindra Singh Sharon caught up with the Joint Chief Electoral Officer of Goa, Narayan Navti, to talk about the arrangements.
हमने पूरे कॉलेजेस जो गोवा में है उन कॉलेज के बच्चों के स्टूडेंट के साथ इंटरेक्शन रखा था, और उनसे एक ओथ हम लेते हैं कि इस चुनाव में वो तो शामिल हो जाएंगे, वो तो वोट करेंगे, और उनका जो फैमिली मेंबर्स है और नेबर्स है वो भी, उनको भी वो बोलेंगे कि जाके वोट करो। ऐसा तो ये चलता है। इसके सिवाय हमारे ऑफिस की तरफ से फेसबुक, ट्विटर, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, इस पर भी हम इलेक्शन के बारे में, इलेक्शन यानी कि एथिकल वोटिंग के बारे में जानकारी दे रहे हैं।
टूरिज्म का वक्त है, पूरा सीजन पीक पे है, ऐसे में ज्यादा लोग वोट डालने के लिए आएंगे, ये उनके लिए दिक्कत की बात नहीं होगी?
नहीं, देखो 2012 में जब हमने इलेक्शन चुनाव करवाया था उस समय भी टूरिज्म सीजन था, क्योंकि वो चुनाव 3 मार्च को हुआ था जो पीक टूरिस्ट सीजन रहता है। इस बार भी फरवरी है, पीक टूरिस्ट सीजन है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि पूरा चुनाव शांति और अच्छे ढंग से हो जाएगा।
यहाँ पर बहुत कम, अभी तक केवल 15-16 लाख रुपए तक ही का कैश या ड्रग्स पकड़ी गई है, जबकि जो 5 दूसरे स्टेट्स में चुनाव हो रहा है, 4 वहां पर लाखों करोड़ों रुपए के अभी तक पकड़ी गई। तो ये क्या लगता है कि यहाँ की जनता ऐसी है कि आप लोगों की सख्ताई के कारण ऐसा हो रहा है?
नहीं, हर बार चुनाव के समय वो ड्रग्स हो या और कोई पेडलिंग हो, वो बहुत कंट्रोल में रहता है। गोवा में तो जब चुनाव डिक्लेयर हो गया तो हमारा पहला ये था कि हमने बैनर्स, सभी बैनर्स निकाले, और दूसरा है कि जो लॉ इन्फोर्सिंग अथॉरिटीज है उनको बोल दिया कि जो इलीगल एक्टिविटीज चल रही है, यानी कि ज्यादातर मड़का डांस यहाँ थे, सभी बंद करवा दिए हैं।
इस बार भी कुछ जो राजनीतिक दल है वो भाषा की बात कर रहे हैं, और तो आप लोग इस बार चुनाव में किस तरीके से उन पर कड़ी नजर रखेंगे, और खासतौर पे जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आदेश आ गया है?
नहीं, ये तो पहले भाषा के बारे में पहले चल रहा है था, लेकिन जब से चुनाव डिक्लेयर हो गया है यहाँ से, गोवा के लिए जब चुनाव डिक्लेयर हो गया है, तब से उन्होंने भाषा का नाम या भाषा का रेफरेंस देना बंद करवा दिया है।
That's it on this edition of Verdict 2017. Have a good evening.